Hello and welcome to a Sub-Zero quick guide. In this video I'll be teaching you what you should do and what you should not do with Sub-Zero. We got combos, we got pressure tips, we got neutral tips, pretty much an all-in-one guide for those looking to pick up Sub-Zero. I'm going to keep it very simple. You're not going to have to memorize a lot of stuff because you're just picking up the character. You might not want to go pro with this guy, so these fast tips will just give you a way to try him out and not look like a complete fool. Okay, so you're picking Sub-Zero. Here's what you can expect from this character and this guide. Not a lot of damage, with a little asterisk. Great mix-up and pressure, decent range, and a lot of ice puns. Trust me, when your friends see you playing Sub-Zero, you're gonna need some ice surgery. Ouch. Let's start with the damage. This is your go-to combo. Back 1-4, freeze, back 1-4-3, slide meter burn. Pretty simple, right? Take it to practice mode, make sure you get comfortable with this combo. This is the foundation of Sub-Zero. It works with both competitive variations, which are gonna be the focus of this entire guide. Though the two variations are gonna have different effects. Dead of Winter turns the slide into a shoulder charge, and the meter burn lets you keep the same side as well as keeping you closer to your opponent, so it's easier for you to put on pressure afterwards. While Thin Ice, side switches on meter burn, throws the opponent really far, but the ability itself is better for dealing with zoners, because it just slides under most projectiles in the game. The first attack of this combo also has great range, which is very convenient for whiff punishing your opponent. If you're playing footsies, if you're playing neutral and you can keep the correct distance, you'll always be dealing max damage on punish. And this is because this attack just has amazing range. This combo also teaches you a few things about Sub-Zero as a character. One, you can put an ice ball in most of your combos. It's not just this one, here are some other examples. This is a low starter. This is an anti-air. This is a faster jab. The only one it doesn't work with is this overhead, but if you have the Dead of Winter variation, you can meter burn the ice ball and it will actually combo. It's one of the advantages of the Dead of Winter variation. And two, this also brings us to the little asterisk that I gave you at the beginning of the video. As you can see, Sub-Zero's damage isn't anything special. But the thing about his combos is that even if the opponent has an escape, even if he has the 2 bars of defensive meter, he cannot use it, because these are not big juggling combos. Everything is pretty grounded, so the opponent can never escape. It's guaranteed damage. There are a few exceptions. Anti-airs, for example, you can always escape those. And the Dead of Winter variation has the shoulder charge, and you can also escape the meter burn version of that. But that's at the very end of the combo, and it'd be pretty stupid to meter burn there. Now, if you have Fatal Blow, my recommendation is to not use the Ice Ball. The Ice Ball will nerf your Fatal Blow damage a lot. But as you're starting out, don't feel too bad about using it. Just as you get used to the character, you might want to use your Fatal Blow as you would use your Ice Ball. Just replace the two and it works fine. Now, because of his low damage, it is important to keep crushing blows in mind. And there are 2 crushing blows that you want to know about. The first one only works in the Thin Ice variation because it requires the slide and not the shoulder charge. The third time you amplify damage on the slide, the third time you meter burn, you will get a crushing blow. If you have the Dead of Winter variation, the crushing blow triggers on the shoulder charge on a counter or a punish. But that's something that's just going to happen naturally. You don't really need to keep that in mind. The second crushing blow you want to keep in mind is the cold encounter combo, which is this combo right here, 1, 2, 4. If the last hit connects on an 8-hit combo or bigger, it triggers a crushing blow. So it's something you want to use if you catch your opponent with a jump in attack. So for instance, jump in, back 1, 3, freeze, jump in again, 1, 2, crushing blow. And it's basically the same damage as your BNB without spending the meter. And that's the damage it deals. I know, it's not a lot. That's just how it is. You have to...
Let it go! Let it go!
But don't worry, Sub-Zero has incredible mix-up. He can go high, he can go low, he can grab, he can bait shit out. He can turn the biggest Mortal Kombat pros into crying snowflakes once he gets that pressure going. So let's teach you how to make all of this stuff happen. But before we get into it, I just wanted to let you guys know that we're doing a Mortal Kombat tournament tomorrow with a prize pool and everything. To sign up, you must first become a premium bush by clicking the join button or heading over to patreon.com/Globku, join us on Discord and sign up there. There will be a link to sign up on a tab called Tournaments, and that tab will become visible once you go premium, as well as everything else that's exclusive to premium members. I'll be streaming the tournaments, so if you can't sign up, you can at least watch it live. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time, that is sometime in the morning if you're in the US. Anyways, back to Sub-Zero's mix-up game. Sub-Zero has a fast low with back 3, which leads into this combo. Like most of his combos, you can throw an ice ball after the second hit, and then you already know how the rest goes. If the opponent blocks, you can stop any time before the ice ball, or just continue the combo without the ice ball, do the full back 3-2-1, because all of these hits are safe on block, so it's very easy to confirm into a combo or a block string. His overhead is forward 2, but there's not a lot you can do from here. It's a fast overhead, and that's the reason why Sub-Zero's mix-up is so strong. But after the axes, you either follow up with a kick, which is a crushing blow if you catch your opponent pressing buttons, and that's very good damage, but you do need to catch your opponent pressing buttons. Other than that, the only way to get more damage out of this is with the Dead of Winter variation and the amplified ice ball. Problem is, even if this is a combo, it's hard to confirm into this. If your opponent just blocks, you are so not safe, and you're so getting punished. Also, I assume you know how to grab, but just as a reminder, grabs are much scarier when they're coming from Sub-Zero. Precisely because he has all of these other options, opponents are constantly worried about overheads and lows, so they won't be as ready for grabs. Which means, hey, don't forget you have them. Just use them in the middle of everything else. Here's me in a real match. That's an overhead. That's a low. That's another overhead. That's a grab. That's another low. And we're done with that. Now, there's a very easy way to get out of this, which is to use pretty much any of your wake-up options. Delay wake-up, rolls, invulnerability, but all of that stuff can also be countered as well, so it becomes a game of reads. And of course, mix-up game doesn't just happen on wake-up, and Sub-Zero has a very easy way to force your opponent to take the mix, and that's his forward 4. He runs up to you and kicks you so hard that you stay blocking for a pretty long time. This move has a name, but I just call it the Avalanche, because, you know, ice and snow. Now, this move is a +4 on block, which is not a lot, but it is plus. So if your opponent likes pressing buttons, what you do after this is a down 1. This will catch them, and if they take the hit, you are now in a +9 situation. You can go for any mix you want. Low, overhead, grab, it's up to you. However, if they block your down 1, you've lost your turn. Go back to blocking. Abort, abort! But hey, now at least you know they keep blocking after taking the Avalanche to the face. So, you can mix them up immediately after that move. Avalanche into overhead, into low, into grabs, into whatever you want, whatever you need. And before we wrap this up and I go back to Sub-Zero and chill, let's talk about some of his special moves. Sub-Zero only has 2 special moves by default, and you already know them at this point. You've got the Ice Ball and you got the Slide, which is a shoulder charge in the Dead of Winter variation. However, the Thin Ice variation gives you a couple more special attacks. Frigid Storm is a nice wall projectile with a slow startup, but it hits mid, which means the opponent can't simply crouch under it. They can jump, it's not the easiest thing in the world, it has to be pretty well timed, but since they can't simply just crouch under it, they have to take it, so it is a lot stronger than it initially looks. Polar Axe is an aerial projectile. The effective distance is kind of specific and it will take some time getting used to it. Aerial projectiles are very strong in Mortal Kombat 11, especially great for dealing with zoners when you're jumping over their stuff. It's a way of saying, hey, stop that. And then Deathsicle Barrage is a cool projectile, mainly because Sub-Zero steps back, so you can dodge your opponent's stuff and punish them at the same time. So to summarize, this is BNB. He can start low and confirm into the second half of that combo. He has a fast overhead, though you can't do much from there other than keep up the pressure. Avalanche is plus on block, and regarding his variations, Dead of Winter is better for playing close to your opponent and keeping up the pressure. Thin Ice is easier for dealing with zoners and zoning a bit yourself. Though Sub-Zero is not a hard zoner, so that shouldn't be your game plan from the get-go. And that should be enough to get you started. Once you get used to that, you can look up some more advanced guides with more text, some corner combos that give you an easier crushing blow for that cooling counter combo, for instance. But that will do it for now. I don't know how many of these guides I'll be making, but I'm thinking of doing one for every character I pick up. I'm not picking up every character in the game, but Iron Rinnegan has picked up Kitana, so I'll ask him for help with a guide for her next. In the meantime, I'm open to suggestions on who I should pick up. Let me know who you'd like to see me play as in the comments down below, but as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll freeze you next time. Boy.